This episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
Hello and welcome back to another Realistic Sustainability educational short. Recently, the kids have been asking questions, and this week, Addison asked this.
Hey Dad, what's the point of no return?
Well, Addison, that's a little tricky, because it seems like we keep crossing these point of no returns. I remember in the 90s, there was a 1 degree Celsius point of no return, then a 1.4, now a 1.5. It's not as tricky as it sounds. It's that we are crossing these lines. We are crossing the lines where we have made a point of no return. Obviously, the point of no return is, once you cross it, it will never be the same. Why does that matter? Because it changes our world, changes our environment, changes how we do things. We build things based on our environment, and when that environment changes, it endangers us. How do we know it's a point of no return? Well, that's a little bit complicated at times, but it's based on NASA's count of greenhouse gases. Much like in the past we had a problem with ozone, and it took a lot of years and a lot of changes, but the ozone layer is healing. And in many cases, we could do the same thing when it comes to carbon or any other greenhouse gas, but we've yet to really make those changes. Matter of fact, we haven't even got a consensus from society yet. That's a little scary. But do we trust NASA to make the counts needed? Well, I can tell you one thing. I may not be a rocket scientist. I may not be a climatologist. But I do trust those who are. They've dedicated their lives long before someone called them fake news. So the same technology that we trust every day and everything we use uses the same process that NASA uses to learn these facts. So greenhouse gases in our atmosphere, yeah, that's kind of a thing. Now, the current threshold that people talk about when they talk about the point of no return is the 2 degrees Celsius, which is double the original one. It's like we keep putting a line in the sand and everybody runs over it, so we back up and put another line in the sand. But each line that we put changes our future for humanity. Just a little more each time, and not for the better. This means rising coastlines. This means the currents will change. Ice caps will melt. Wait a minute. We talk about ice caps all the time. Do we really care if they melt? Well, there is a reason why that's so important. Yes, it pushes a lot of fresh water into the oceans that is much colder than the current ocean temperatures. And it does change the current. But white ice is reflective. So when the sun's radiation comes in, those large swaths of white on the planet reflect a lot of that radiation back out of our system. As it melts, you get this dark blue ocean instead of this reflective white surface. And that radiation comes in, and just like if you wore a black shirt or a dark blue shirt out in the summertime versus a white, it absorbs that energy. And more and more warming happens in that area and then circulates throughout the planet, changing a lot of global temperatures and disrupting a lot of climates. That's why, or that's one of the reasons why, people care so much about those ice caps. It's a unit of measurement. I can tell you as an engineer, in a lot of groups that I'm in, we no longer talk about mitigating the damage from climate change. We now talk about designing things so that when those disasters happen, people are fine. Much like houses that separate from foundations with flexi pipes in them so that they can float during floods and hurricane season. Or stronger and stronger defenses for homes in forest fire areas, making them, well, non-flammable, so that people can hide in them and still be safe. We're not trying to go back to how it is because it's been so many years and so many people have ignored it. Engineers are now just trying to design ways for people to be safe. It would be better if we made the changes. But as we hop over one and then another point of no return, sadly, sometimes you just have to assume the next one's going to be hopped over too. It is our responsibility to make sure that we leave this planet in a better place for our children. Addison, so far, I haven't done that, and I apologize. And hopefully, some of these conversations that we're having can start moving this in the right direction. It's time for us to all be adults, put on our big boy pants, or big girl pants, and start doing what's right for the future of this planet and its inhabitants. We can start mitigating the damages. We just have to let go of old ideas, obsolete processes, and probably start turning off our cable news. So that way we can make better decisions without someone yelling at us, telling us we're wrong and we should be angry. It is time that we focus on the impacts that are happening all around us. I know that it's hard to quantify or understand what is really happening because climate moves so slow. It's not like there's an asteroid headed for Earth and we all have to work together to stop it. But it's the same kind of result. It's just really, really slow. And I refuse to be the guy who says, well, it's not going to happen in my lifetime, so what do I care? Well, I do care, because Addison, Grayson, Aiden, I love you guys. And I want you to have all the advantages all of us have had in the past. It's probably about time that we all become good stewards to the planet that we live on. We certainly can't look towards other planets. This is the one we're built for. This is the one we can live on. None of the rest of them will offer the same hospitality. But it's going to take us blending with the environment, not dominating it. As an engineer, I will promise to continue to work towards humanity's survival. But I ask you to do the same. Recycle. Use a little less. Reduce that energy bill. Do the little things. Because when millions and millions of people do the little things, we make a big, big impact. Addison, that was a good question, and I appreciate you asking it. And I hope the rest of you enjoyed this episode. If you did, share it with a friend. And truthfully, I love your comments. Send me a comment. You can send it direct or put it on Facebook. I appreciate you listening, and we'll see you next week.